Hi there, friends. We are going to work on two activities today that help us work on snipping with our scissors. Snipping is the first scissor skill that kids learn, and it is where you just kind of hold a piece of paper and snip at the edge of it, as opposed to being able to cut across it and keep the scissors going in a forward motion. So for anybody who's at the skill level where we're just working on snipping with the scissors and getting the scissors on our hand the right way with our thumb in the little hole and facing us, these are some good activities to work on snipping with the scissors. We're going to make a lion and we're going to make a lantern. So for these activities, then you need some paper, some crayons or markers or something to draw with, some scissors, and some tape. I'm going to start out by making a lion. Now, you might need a grown-up to help you cut a circle out of a piece of paper. I'm starting by drawing a circle. Drawing a circle on a piece of paper. And I know how to cut out a circle, but if you're working on learning how to snip, you probably don't know how to cut out a circle, and that's okay. So we need a grown-up to start by cutting out a big circle for us. I will do this part for myself, but you can have a grown-up help you with it. Alright, I've got my circle. This is going to be a lion eventually. He needs a head. I'm going to start by drawing a little circle in the middle, because part of it is going to be his hair and part of it is going to be his head. See, his face is going to be on here. So I'm going to draw the lion's face. He's got some eyes. He's got a nose. His nose is a triangle. Mine's nose is a triangle. And I'm going to give him a little mouth. There's my lion. That's my little lion face. Lions' hair, or their mane, is kind of yellowish, brown, gold. So whatever kind of color you have, I'm going to use yellow and brown. Or if you want to make like a crazy cool lion, you can make it any color you wanted to, because we could imagine whatever we wanted. We could imagine a lion with blue hair or with pink hair. I colored some of his hair yellow, and then I'm going to color part of it brown. I'm going to put some just kind of brown stripes in my lion's hair. I'm going to color this whole entire lion, and I'm going to color his face brown too. My lion is a nice lion. Is your lion a nice lion or a mean lion? Does he say roar? Here's my lion. I made this whole lion. Alright, now I want the hair around the edge of his face. I want it to be like hair is. Right now it's just stiff like paper is. So I'm going to take my scissors. I'm going to make sure that I put my thumb in the little hole and my fingers in the big hole. My thumb is facing towards me. Sometimes I draw a smiley face or put a sticker on kids' thumbnail so that they can tell if the scissors are facing towards them or not. Then I'm just going to snip, 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 snip all the way around. Snip, snip, snip. Then I gotta turn my hand a little bit. Snip, snip, snip. Turn my hand a little bit. Snip, snip, snip. I'll keep snipping until I've snipped all of his hair. Snip, snip, snip. Snip, snip, snip. Now some of this hair, these are some really big pieces of hair. So I'm going to try, his hair is really thin. It's really small pieces of hair in real life. So I'm going to try to cut really close to my other snips. I'm going to look real carefully at where I snipped the last time and line up my scissors and try to make some small, thin snips so that it's like hair. You can do it either way. You could do big, wide pieces of hair, or you could do small, thin pieces of hair. So you have to be really careful if you're doing it small. It's a lot trickier. It's a lot more challenging. See how small these pieces of hair are? These ones are small. And these ones are big and wide and thick. I can do them both ways. I like the small ones. I'm going to snip mine with all the small, a whole lot of small pieces of hair, because in real life, hair is very small. But maybe you're imagining a lion with blue hair or pink hair or thick hair or wide hair or curly hair, and you can make your lion any way you want to. We're just working on snipping and then shifting our hand on the paper so that it's holding the paper still. Sometimes it's hard to hold the paper still while you cut with it with your other hand. And your mom or dad or the adult who takes care of you might need to kind of help you hold it steady. But when you get to the point where you can hold it yourself, that's important to be able to do too. To hold it and turn your hand whichever way you need to be able to cut. Snip, snip. I've snipped all the way around, but I'm going back and making some of my pieces of hair even smaller because I like the small ones. Snip, snip. Snip, snip. Snip, snip. Kids should be able to experiment with snipping with scissors as young as 2 years old. And then you get better and better at it, being able to hold onto the paper and adjust where you're holding and then being able to push the scissors forward. So this is a good activity for everybody to try. Look at all of this lion's hair. It's so fuzzy to touch, and it makes a cool sound. I made this whole lion, and I have this other lion too, from earlier when I made one to be an example. I have 2 lions. And they both have so much hair, and I really like the way that it feels on my hand when I run my hand over it. Well, that was a fun activity. We made a lion. Now I'm going to show you how to make a lantern. I'm going to put my lions off to the side, and I'm going to make a lantern like this one. So, you start by decorating the paper any which way you want it. I really like rainbows. I always end up drawing rainbows on things. So I'm just going to you could color the whole thing if you wanted. You could draw something on it if you wanted. You can do it any which way you want. I'm just going to kind of make some swoopy lines. And I'm going to do that with a whole rainbow until my whole thing is covered in some rainbow swoopy lines. But you can do it any way you like. There's no right or wrong way to color. What's your favorite color? My favorite color is blue. And rainbows. I really like rainbows. I like the way that all of the colors look when they are all next to each other. And it just looks really beautiful in the sky or on a piece of paper. I just really like the way that rainbows look. And they make me feel happy when I see them. Some people are wearing masks right now when they go outside to try to stay safe. And I have a mask that I wear when I go outside so that I can stay safe. And my mask is rainbows. It has rainbows on it because that's my favorite. Woo, this is going to be a really rainbowy paper. Once I'm on blue and now purple. Do you know what colors are in the rainbow? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, which is like bluish purple, and purple. And some people do pink. Look, it's got rainbow swirls all over my piece of paper. All right. Now that I've colored this whichever way I want it to look, here's the next step. I have to fold it in half. When you fold a piece of paper, you can kind of hold it and match the 2 sides, the 2 edges up to each other. It's kind of tricky to learn how to fold, so if you need a grown-up to help you with this part, that's okay. But if you can try it yourself, that's a good idea. Now that I've made it into kind of a loop, I'm going to press my hands together and pinch it and fold it all the way across. All right. Now the lion's mane, we could do it with big snips or with little snips. But this one, we kind of want them to be a little bit bigger. If we do very little snips, then it would make it a very, very loose lantern. So you could try it if you wanted to, but I like it with a little bit bigger snips. Also, if you know how to cut and then still push the scissors more forward, this is a snip. I've just done one snip. If I can try to open my scissors and then cut in the exact same place that I snipped to make an even bigger cut, this is great practice for that, because if you can do that, then it'll look even cooler. But if all you can do is snip and you can't get it to push forward in the same place, that's okay too. They will both make a cool lantern. So I'm going to snip and then open my scissors right where I'm at without moving, and then push them forward and snip again. And then I made a bigger cut. I'm going to try that again. I'm going to try it closer to the camera so you can see it if you don't know how. I'm holding my paper steady with one hand, and with my other hand, I have my scissors ready. I make a snip. All right, now what's the next step? I don't want to move my hands yet. I will open the scissors, push the scissors forward, and snip in the exact same place. That way, I don't lose where my snip is at. And this takes a lot of thinking. I have to think and take my time instead of being able to go fast, but that's okay. Sometimes it takes some time to be able to do things. So I'm going to snip, open the scissors, push them forward, and snip again in the same place. And what if I make a mistake? What if I snip and then I take my scissors away without, oh no, I didn't think about it. I moved before I thought about it. And now this snip is so small next to the other ones. That's okay. Here's what I can do. I can line my scissors back up with the same line and try to cut in the exact same place. I did it. I made a snip in the same place. I snip, and then before I move, I'll open them up, push forward, and cut. Snip, open them up, push forward, and cut. Snip, open them up, push forward, and cut. I think I can get 2 more snips in here probably. Snip, open them up, push forward, and cut. Snip, open them up, push forward, and cut in the same place. All right, now I've got cuts going all along the edge here. When I open it up, it's gonna look like this. It doesn't really look like much yet. It's not like it's like a snowflake or anything like that, but here's what we're gonna do next. These 2 edges, we'll bend them around until they touch each other. And then we're gonna get some tape. Well, we need probably at least 2 pieces of tape. I'm gonna put this down so I can get the tape off. It can be tricky to get tape off while you're also holding something else. So here's a trick that I like to do. I get a piece of tape, peel it off, and then I come to the edge of my table or my counter, and I put just the very tip of it on the edge. Let me show you. Do you see how that tape is hanging off there? So that way, I'll be able to pick it up in a second when I need it. So I'm going to put 3 pieces of tape just in case I mess one up and I need an extra one. I'll put 3 pieces of tape right on the edge there. All right, now it's time to make it into a lantern. So I'm going to bend the edges around until they touch each other. I'm going to hold this steady with my hands like this and take a piece of tape. And now I'm going to put the tape right on the edge here and then fold it over the top. Same with the other side. I'm going to take a piece of tape, stick it on here, and fold it over the top. And I like to put a piece of tape in the middle. So I'm going to do that too. I'm going to put a piece of tape in the middle so that it really, really stays together and does not fall apart. And now I have a lantern. Isn't that cool? It like kind of bounces a little bit. Like you could bounce it. So if you make it with big snips or with little snips, it'll look a little bit different. Or if your snips are kind of slanted, then it'll look kind of like arrows going around. Or if you did really skinny snips, then it would look kind of different versus if you did wide ones. There's lots of ways that you can make this different. Mine are both rainbow, but you can make them different colors too. You can make them all sorts of ways, any way that you want to make them. And if you make one, you should take a picture of it or have the grown-up who takes care of you take a picture of it and send it to me because I would like to see your lions that you made, your lions, and your lanterns. And we learned some about snipping. All right, well, I hope you had fun playing with me. I had fun playing with you. I look forward to seeing you later. Bye.